Welcome to the week 5 of our Lenten series. This week's theme is Becoming Someone New. Our verse is found in Matthew 13, verses 45 through 46, also known as the parable of the pearl of great price. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. On finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. So what does this parable mean? In this parable, Jesus describes a treasure so valuable and precious, the merchant is willing to give up everything he has to gain it. Jesus compares the kingdom of heaven with this valuable treasure. What Christ has offered us is so great and valuable, there is nothing we have that is worth keeping if we can't be in the kingdom. So this got me thinking, what am I willing to give up to follow Jesus? What is Jesus asking me to do or give up? What should I be cherishing most? And does giving up everything mean that I have to stop having a good life, having fun, or nice things? We have all had to give up a lot in 2020 and continue to do so in 2021. For many of us, this global pandemic has forced us to prioritize who and what is really important. Jesus, of course, wants to be our priority. Just as the act of giving generously or tithing is a process, so too is making Jesus a priority in our lives. For our family, this has meant reevaluating our priorities during this unpredictable time. This has also helped us stay a little more centered and focused and a little less crazy and stressed, dealing with such uncertainty on a day-to-day basis. Following Jesus can be a lot like this past year filled with lots of difficulty, uncertainty, and disappointment. Yet, through these difficult times, we can be stronger disciples of Jesus. We were never promised an easy earthly life following Jesus. We were promised an eternal life in the kingdom of heaven. Not easy, but definitely worth it. This past year has not been easy, but I am starting to see some of the worth it within the struggle. I can say I've experienced great growth emotionally, physically, and spiritually as a result of my struggles this past year. I've learned how to become more patient with my kids, my husband, and myself. I may even, with the gift of time and perspective, look back at this past year as a most treasured time with my kids and husband. I've learned to step out of my comfort zone and stop limiting myself. A year ago, honestly, I probably would not have agreed to record a Lenten reflection. And most importantly, I've learned how precious life really is. And I want to consciously live it in a way that reflects my family's values of God, health and wellness, family and friends, kindness and gratitude. These values have really helped us start to build a closer relationship with God by helping us prioritize our time. Because our time is very limited at this stage of our lives, with young children, aging parents who need our support, we often find ourselves asking questions to one another like, will this activity actually positively affect one of our priorities or our family pillars? If not, we let it go and we say no. Saying no can be difficult and sometimes feels very lonely, but Jesus wants us to say no to all those things that keep us from being close to Him. We feel our family's priorities help keep us close to Him. This can also feel lonely if you're saying no to something that society generally says yes to. I think everyone has a personal list of what may keep him or her from God, and also what brings him or her closer to Him. Everyone's list is a little bit different, although I suspect there are probably a lot of commonalities among us. My list includes obvious tasks like creating boundaries, saying no to other commitments that may interfere with my time going to Bible study, watching the church service online, or doing Sunday school activities with my kids. It also includes maybe a less obvious no to things like joining in a negative conversation about someone or judging someone from a brief negative encounter. My list also includes saying yes to more prayers, more communication, more meditation, and also music that allows me to feel close and build my relationship with God. So while you're reflecting on the Bible passage during this 5th week of Lent, What can you do to say no to those things that bring distance between you and God? And what can you do to say yes to those things that bring you closer to Him? This is the beginning of our journey together to becoming someone new and someone even closer to God. Thank you.